Hello, welcome back to CrestVahllen D&D, The Burnt Ends. Today we're talking about episodes 41 to 43, where we spent most of the time in the Underdark and sometimes still in Minheim. We can work backwards if you want, because I really want to talk about it. Also, y'all got most of you got new art on your dice boxes, if you didn't notice.
It's more you finished off the thing you weren't happy with to start with.
For you. I honestly forgot because it was on the news side and I forgot it was there. Demetrius, you got some stuff for Eleazar.
Yeah, I did. I did. Oh, one of the torture.
It's called a rack.
This is fun.
That's what we saw you on.
Oh,
And your new breath?
and my new breath. Yep.
That's cool.
Cool. And you got that hand that you got pulled you through. Kenton called me out on something
My new thing just says, I can't draw a soul.
in pencil.
In pencil, it's not burned.
So if you can see behind it, there's a bunch of smudge marks from me trying to draw things and erasing them many times. And then I eventually just gave up. I'm like, I can't draw a soul. And I forgot to erase that.
I'm going to point out, you can still see the eraser marks
Yeah.
on my hand here.
I think you should leave it.
I mean, if
out
you guys
there,
have any
yeah.
ideas on how to draw a soul, that'd be great.
Kind of hilarious. It just
honestly-
burning, I can't draw.
I could just burn that.
Honestly, I would have just gone with the old school ghost, like Pac-Man ghost.
Yeah.
And
Oh, like the sheep ghost?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I'd kind of go more Will-o'-the-Wisp. Sort of.
See, now I wanted to do like that. I was thinking like, you know, an androgynous humanoid creature with like a will-o'-the-wisp
but
in like a
apparently you
chest
can't draw that.
or abdomen area. But then I tried to, and I was like, this doesn't look good. And I was like, but all it looks is like the genitals are so bright, they're so shining, you can't see anything. And I was like, this isn't a good look.
Well, you just do that, but you just leave the person as the not burned part, and then just burn like rays outside of them.
Mm-hmm.
The person
Negative
has what?
space.
So it's negative space. So the person, the androgynous humanoid,
Yeah.
is just the unburned negative space. Then you're just burning
Oh.
radiance off of them.
That's a great
Yeah,
idea.
just then it's.
That's why I keep you guys around.
That is
No,
good.
I don't think you got.
We're not always good for
I did not.
like
I did
giving
not.
you
Because I
direct
did so much
information.
work on you recently.
But goddamn,
Okay.
we can give you inspiration.
You got crosshatch wolf, I believe,
Yep.
with 3 moons up in the sky.
No Moonchild.
That was
Mhm.
fun. I couldn't
She's so cute.
get the face
Or
right, so
they're-
eventually I just gave up and got
They're so
like,
cute.
close to the-
So I'm
That's
going
like
with
good.
her for it.
How much does
Yeah.
the face on Moonchild look like? You just
Great, so let's go
Well,
back.
That one's me, then that one's.
Yeah.
you're better.
I think that Zemdak and Argus know what an Umber Hulk is.
Probably. I mean, it's sort of underground,
Yeah.
common.
Yeah, it's
Not
one of those
common,
things where
but
say, hey, don't go far
Right.
and don't go wandering in mines, or you might run into an Umber Hulk and you're dead. Yeah, they are known for their like confusing rays and just very, very strong creatures that can just crush you. They are like insectoid adjacent, but also are, you know, avid tunnelers, the whole deal. I'm very excited because I made these minis months ago, and I made the stat blocks for a couple of these things a while ago, and I've been waiting to use them, but like it just hasn't come up on the dice, and it didn't come up with the dice, and then I was like, came up on the dice, and I was very excited.
I mean, he's got a cool paint job.
Yeah.
But I don't like how he's deadly.
Just wish we could have ran it.
I don't like how he
Right.
threw Eleazar in the pit.
Yeah, I mean, he just fully like burst
Before
through
everyone's
the
closer.
wall, and you were there, and you were just like, and just got checked into the air. This thing is extremely strong. You were surprised it just boom. You definitely have a chance of like hanging on.
I mean, I know what I'm gonna do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, as soon as you said it, only because, and that's why I had made a mention of paying attention to where I was going.
Yeah.
Only because I thought something might jump
You
and
could
catch
have
us all.
that back up.
I mean, I knew it was coming too. Granted, it's not your turn.
And it's a bonus
initiative,
action, not
and
a-
when it's not your turn and you're in midair, you fall. You fall 500 feet. So you can Misty Step. And right now you were surprised, so a whole round is going to go by of you falling. That's why I'm giving you that dexterity saving throw. But yes, at a point like if you were knocked off something on your turn, you can Misty Step right back. Cool. So I want to know what you guys thought was the most interesting as far as the lore that Ermgrim was talking
Hmm.
I mean, I never realized that there was stuff before the primordials, and they weren't like what was original. Basically, the shamans created the primordials by sacrificing.
I mean, that's just like a thought, though. Like, it's
Right.
not what happened. It's not history. It's one
But
about. A school of thought.
it
one
aligns
story.
with what we found
Yeah.
Right. Especially
that had moving like
the imagery there,
Yeah.
right? Like
Kind of
that
matched
was,
up Willow's books
Right.
too. Somebody
Yeah.
sacrificed themselves.
in that
To
book
give
had,
form
like,
to the
a-
primordials. To give form to the primordials.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they didn't exist. It just didn't, they were the plane of fire. They were the plane of water.
Possibly.
maybe just bringing them here.
Yeah. Just gave them more agency,
breaking them through. Yeah.
more consciousness.
Mhm.
All right, so then log out
Hmm.
that whole thing.
How you doing?
How you doing?
I mean, also that what I was saying earlier was, part of the reason that log stayed back was after all that, just some mindless mining is kind of like what he kind of needs right now.
That's therapy.
Just
for
that
him.
kind of like just mindless, not even kind of trying to think about it, kind of get back
Reset
to,
yourself.
yeah, to zero.
There's a little bit of a cruel irony too, because
Because of the history and past of just like that, this is a comfort in a way after that.
given what you gave up to get away from that.
Yeah, but you're doing this because you want to, not because you have.
right,
Right.
exactly, and so that's the biggest difference.
Well, that in this life where you were mining is better than the lives that you just lived.
Right.
Right.
In a night.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say log.
No,
You don't know it's gonna be bad.
we do.
No, you don't. You just don't know it's gonna. You're just pretty sure it's not gonna be good.
That's enough.
It was cool hearing the Dreamweaver stuff though, and that
Yeah.
there could be something in the past that is like this, and that there could be people who know what's going on with some of that.
Right. And just because they aren't talked about now or supposedly gone, I mean, Kosu's supposedly gone, right? Like, that doesn't mean that they're not.
When
Right.
he
It's the
said,
first real lead we've had.
Yeah.
on
when he said matriarchal families,
You're
my family and tribe is kind of matriarchal based.
Yeah.
So there might be a message to my mom soon where I say, "What do you know about Dreamweavers?"
Right.
And to see if
in
she
25 words. In 25 words, please tell me everything.
25 words, please give me your dissertation on Dreamweavers.
They
Wonderful.
exist.
They do exist.
Dream Weavers.
Well, you also know
they are gone.
you understand more of
Language.
what it is, and maybe that it can be manipulated.
Right.
right, yeah, if I have more power control over it than I realize.
If nothing else, a little time in the library might help.
Right.
Like once we get to that area,
Well, so if we got the chance to, it hasn't come up yet. I was going to, like just at night or something, read through that Spelljammer book that we got before, and try and see if anything in there matches some of the visuals I was having in the dream. Where you're talking about like the stars.
Oh, the new
and,
book
like-
that just came out?
No. We bought at the bookstore in Minheim.
Mm-hmm.
I got a Spelljammer book.
Remind me of it was about the actual the vehicle,
Yeah.
right?
Uh,
The
and like
Nautilus vehicle.
And there was something there that kind of somewhat matched the script on the fetish. It was like someone trying to mimic it. It looks like they scrawled or scratched it on the deck of the ship. Like there was something to that effect.
Right. It was an account of people seeing like nautiloid vehicles,
Yeah.
right? Is what it was mentioned about, like
That sounds
a,
about
a
right.
mind that went back. Is that what happened? If remind me as to what the book was about, because that's well, I'm pretty sure that's what it was about. I could be wrong. Well, we'll go back. If that's what it was, which I'm pretty sure it was, an account of somebody who'd like dipped their head into madness and saw these things, and then like very Journey to the Center of the Earth style, where they go and then the guy was like, "Oh, this is what I saw. The center of the Earth. There's a sun down there. It doesn't make any sense, but there's a sun down there." And it's like somebody who but with this plate of whatever it is. The iconography that was spoken there was very similar to what it is that you saw.
So yes, that's what I'm thinking. Just like if they talk about that, saying like, was I seeing that plane? That's what they saw, and
I mean, that's the
So I'm trying
same
to look at
bookstore we got those spell scrolls from, which I am still very happy that Trisheni has after all of that shit with Shade.
Yeah, that God. Could have been so bad.
Yes, you still have that blade of disaster scroll.
Yes, I do. I won't be able to do anything with it for quite some time, but
someday.
And
Someday.
something that she's code phrasing the PP spell.
yeah.
The PP spell.
Yeah.
Noelle's been formulating the PP spell for quite a while now.
I can't wait till we see it in action.
She's been waiting for this campaign just to put it in there.
Oh my god.
It's not okay. It's
It
just
didn't sound
it's
as
just the
measured,
abbreviation of it. It just
Yeah.
sounds terrible. It just sounds terrible.
I'm working the
It's
ball.
not.
She's working the pee-pee.
Oh my god.
It's gonna be a party, one way or the other.
You guys are ridiculous. Oh my god.
But
So-
yeah, getting there, getting close.
So that whole dream sequence, I always have fun describing those, and there's definitely a difficulty for me in describing the, by definition, indescribable. Like the whole Eldritch madness. So like, I always love this one analogy that someone came up with, where it's like an ant that is working its way across like a camera console, or like with like a bunch of levers and stuff, where people are working cameras, like go to camera 2, go to camera 3, and they're just like crawling across. And they don't know, they just see monoliths and like and big structures across this thing. And then for a moment, their mind pulls back, and they get a much more greater perspective of it, and they understand what this just stretch of massive buildings and structures is, which is a camera control console, and what it does, and what each lever actually does. And then it slowly starts to fade away, like very Flowers for Algernon. And that's Eldritch madness, that grasping up, like, no, I want the better, greater perspective. I want the greater understanding that I have a piece of it. How dare you take it away from me? And that just desire to hold on to something that your mind fully doesn't have the capability of comprehend is what drives you to madness. So it's almost like you having a slice of that, but I also have to think about not giving the player that knowledge as well.
Right.
Because if I tell you actually what it is, then the player knows. So I have to put it in a perspective where it's still cryptic enough that the player doesn't like entirely understand what it is, or at least has like hints and everything to try to put the puzzle pieces together. Whereas you, both the player and the character at the end of it, are still like, what the fuck was that?
No, Log, just remember, you're not suffering from Eldritch madness now.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Soon.
Or you have 1,000-fold and you just don't know.
Right.
Or,
Just
yeah,
a dream
exactly.
within a dream within a dream.
Or you're suffering from it big time and you just haven't realized.
Right. None of you are real. It's just a delusion.
Yeah.
You're already in the simulation. We're just
Right.
Log,
Right.
Log, that's why
NPCs.
you were doing this.
Yeah.
So great. That was a fun thing to do.
He will mess with you.
I had a couple contingencies as to what was going to happen when you failed some of these. Some of them were a little bit more just like visceral and direct, but the 7 was going to be something rather than lucky, a very unlucky thing that was going to happen. And of course, there's always a monkey paw. You got like, I got a 25, but this was supposed to be a good thing. And you're like, well, you got a spell that you can cast at will. It's just like a 2nd level spell you can cast at will.
Well, so yes, I'm trying to think how vampires work into. That's what it was like. I was a vampire hunter who then got attacked by one and then turned into one, or something like that.
Something like
That's
that.
basically how I kind of interpreted that situation.
Right. Which is like, that's very well possibly what could have happened. So, and now you're understanding that you have this reach and grasp into dreams. Who's to say it's just your dreams?
Right. You awake scares me enough.
Which is possibly another thing that we in Dreamweavers do. Right? Okay, so before we left Minheim, I want to know, did you guys have fun with the slide? I was like, no.
kind of fun.
You were like, there's things that are gonna go bad, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Well-
That's what I did think about it.
Oh, well, I mean,
Like, no matter how we rolled, we weren't gonna come out of it without something bad happening.
well, yeah, but there were a lot worse could have happened.
Sure.
Yeah, and so here's the deal. It's like you will always have challenges before you, and all this shit's gonna, like, there's always gonna be unexpected things that are gonna happen that you can't always foresee. The only thing you control is how you deal with it.
Yeah.
And I mean, you avoided what 4 out of 5 of those obstacles with basically nothing. And
a
you
little
did.
luck and dumb luck on
Yeah.
our side.
Yeah, and
And
the
spells.
very last one was like, that was a near impossible thing. Granted, nobody died, nobody got hurt. You just lost a little bit of saltpeter. I mean, that's a success in my mind,
I mean,
Especially because here's the other thing: you guys could have gone down slow if you wanted to, and many, if not all, of those things could have been avoided. Given there might have been like some different things as far as tension and all those things like that.
I like the
But it's
fact
still
that
skill challenge.
for the saltpeter, all we lost was like maybe a quarter of a barrel that had like particularized in the air.
A whole barrel, but yeah.
Yeah, well, no, a whole barrel had done it, but there's going to be more of that. We're still going to lose some of it to the air, but there was still enough that it kind of landed that we could have saved at least about a half barrel or something like that.
Yeah, so I believe what it came down to is that Ermgrim rolled
Instead of the big fiery explosion, it could have happened with losing that barrel.
exactly. So it could have been a lot worse. There's like I said, there's the option of going slow, and when you got to that spot, figuring out how to go through. There's always a risk when it's time to like, okay, we're gonna sacrifice safety for time, or the other way around. And granted, sometimes you go off without a hitch. And it could have been a lot worse going at that speed. I was rolling over here with completely random complications as to what would happen for each time. Sometimes it was just a bump, sometimes it was nothing, and sometimes it was a wall in the way. And the last one happened to be a wall in the way. And this is what happened.
Still can't believe we made it through that wall where I shot the ant keg.
Yeah. That was
Hilarious.
yeah.
It just collapsed fully.
We made it through the wall and we got it back.
I want to know. Then the last thing I think we should talk about is Arcanaline.
Uncle
Uncle Line, that's nice.
Ankyline.
Uncle
Yeah.
Mhm.
About what you think about Ankyline.
I don't trust it.
Well, thinks he's really cool.
Locke thinks he's
It's a neat new friend, and I'm gonna spread him everywhere.
So the cool mechanic that I thought about with him is that, he is a hive mind consciousness, right? So technically, if you give him enough biomass to propagate, he could be a summon merchant, if that makes sense. As long as he has the capability of creating the things where he needs to create them. Obviously, he can't bring his merchandise with him where he's going, but if you give him a little bit, he could I can let's see what I can do with this biomass,
So if we give him alchemy materials, he can make us potions.
Yeah, and he is everywhere and anywhere.
It just reminds me
Anywhere
of
we
all
grow.
Potential of
those
being-
people from the stories where it's all like, oh, you're a magical helper. Oh, you're a magical helper. Oh, yeah, I'm a magical helper, but fuck you.
I kind of think of them like those vendors in those video games that have no business being where it is that they are.
Yeah.
They're like, how come the things haven't killed you? They're like, oh well, we have an understanding. I'm like, what kind of understanding? You're
Because Zemdak grew me here.
You and I are very different when interacting with those merchants because I interact with them and they're all like, you summoned me here. What the fuck did you do that? They're gonna murder me.
well, usually they have some like scripted code in there where they can't take any damage or
Right.
whatever it is.
Depends on the game, but yeah.
Yeah. Like one of the ones that think about is Resident Evil because like, what do you got? What can I sell you? I'm like, why haven't you been eaten by a zombie? Why are you here?
When you get stuff like from Torkov or
Right.
then they're like, I don't know what the fuck that is. Just fucking pick it up. You'll find out what it is.
Right.
And there's always the potential of figuring out what happens if you want to incorporate explorers into your being.
Nope.
Okay.
I have some
You might give
ideas.
some to mission.
I have some ideas for those sports.
Could be interesting. Could be
Yeah.
interesting.
That
That could
could be something.
be really interesting, actually.
Oh, you mean like turn it into a weapon?
No.
No, get
Like-
some to mission.
Machete the
Oh,
Cynic scientist.
right.
Mm.
So she could incorporate like the rapport spur abilities into her corporeal
Be
form.
really interesting.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Yes, giving the her simic nature. That's very interesting. Well, all you have to figure out now is how to teleport it halfway across the world.
You know.
See, in
Minor detail.
And for me, based off of our conversation, I'm sitting there going, "Oh, that could work so well as a spell component."
You mean
Oh,
once I can scribe
right.
and they have a teleportation circle in their shape,
Interesting.
and
Technically, it's not free.
Yeah.
then I can
but
try to
interesting.
copy it down for you to
The
remember.
other side of it.
That would be great. And then I could cast
I
it.
don't.
That would be beautiful.
But
The
then-
tears from
then
the
we could
creature
just
we were
teleport
talking
to
about.
Oh,
Be like,
well,
hey,
yeah.
sis, what's
Possible.
going on?
At least a trial one on the way to that.
Oh yeah, if you're trying to like figure out what's trying to figure it out, yeah,
Yeah.
alchemically, yeah, possibly.
I
mean,
can
that's-
scry and you can teleport.
Yeah. That's
I don't. What else happened in Minheim? I'm forgetting.
mostly that.
Which drunken time in Minheim?
Picking locks, falling down trapdoors.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Getting drunk at the Trappist.
Well, no, that was
No,
that
no,
was
no.
before.
This session.
I mean, that was the first time you cast the dome. That was exciting.
Yeah.
I thought it was some
Usually
fun.
just-
I was very proud of you. I was very, very proud of you.
I like
Learn
learning
something.
something. I'm excited to see how Moonshine fares in battle.
Moonchild.
Moonchild fares in battle. I want to see how protective you are of them.
Because
'Cause
I don't know yet that they would just come back.
you have like an innate sense that they might. But that's like I think I kind of gave that to you. But yeah, I do know a lot of Beastmaster rangers that are like, oh no, I'm not bringing my beast into battle.
Well,
If they
'cause
die,
those
then they just
die.
die, and I can't bring them back.
Yeah.
And no, you stay here. We're gonna. I'm like, that's your whole ability.
Right.
But it's
Oh,
lucky.
I'm gonna just blame myself as a character because I don't want to lose this.
well, that happens.
It's,
Yep.
yeah.
I mean,
it's
it actually does play very much into the ranger archetype, considering how much they love nature,
Yeah.
everything like that.
Tasha
but-
also fixed it up a bit, made it so it wasn't so like messed up.
tough. Yeah.
I'm glad Shakar is back.
Me too. Yeah.
I still there's a small part of me that wants to spread the story of the great Poopty everywhere we go.
Oh, Poopty will come back, guys.
Poopy's
Don't
a
worry.
librarian deity, so we can only spread him in libraries.
Yeah.
So, but you guys
Right,
don't
I
know
love
about
how
the
you
second one.
decided how specific the.
Oh,
the-
you mean like the
He
library
has
we
to
were
have
in
a
Minheim?
section.
I'm just gonna
I
say
love
this.
He has to have a domain. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
makes
I-
sense.
I love it.
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
point this
that's
out.
well.
Yes,
We were in a library in Minheim. It would have been perfect to bring Poopty in.
He's a minor aspect of the goddess of knowledge.
Yeah.
The library platypus.
You're
I
just your friendly
Do you
neighborhood
love
club.
what do you call it? Not constituency. The followers of a church. Their congregation.
Yeah.
The congregation for Poopdi is purely librarians,
Yeah.
and I love that for them.
Okay.
I love that so much. It's just a bunch of librarians worshiping a platypus. It is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard
It's
of.
Well,
great.
and then we can actually see if the belief creates the god or not.
Right. Well,
Oh,
yeah,
right.
I'm
This could
gonna
be a
talk to
trial to see if
yeah.
your belief is like.
I'll talk to
you might
Shakara.
not
Be
talk
like,
to
hey,
Scoop about something.
yeah.
Because I mean, Paige believes, and Paige believes.
Question is, yeah, if he goes back to his platypus form, does he become like a greater platypus? And he's like,
Oh, because he had so much
The
worship
closer,
on him?
the closer to deity
Well,
he is,
Exactly.
the more
As we
Then he
powerful
turns
the
into
physical
literally-
deity is.
this size
Right.
platypus. Like,
You're
Well,
writing
and
him
if-
into
well,
battle.
if we keep introducing him to librarians, how big and how much power is he going to
That's
gain
amazing.
that way?
Level
Yeah.
20 wizard, you summon Shakar, and he's just like fee fi fo.
He's a big enough
I'm your-
platypus that Trisheni
use the
can actually
Dewey
ride
Decimal
him.
System.
He's the Dewey Decimal. He's just announcing the Dewey Decimal System to people and being like,
Did you use
it's
the Dewey
pronounced
Decimal
automatopoeia. Amazing.
I could totally see Trisheni just walking through a battlefield like that.
That's not
Oh,
where
the top
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. I'd springboard off his tail. you know,
Yes.
like-
I love it. And his growl is so loud, it's like it just echoes through the battlefield. I am so excited for this. I want to make this a thing, but I have to keep with it.
I know.
Point 213, the biography on the great wizard.
I mean, this could be, it could be in your story. You could be like, well,
Like, oh yes, and there was that time we made a god from nothing. but librarians and the partially insane.
That would make a great story to become my thesis statement.
Only D&D, folks. You make platypus with a bunch of librarians and worshippers. All right, I think that's all the time we have. Thank you guys for sticking in. Check out more Burn Ends and other Argent Flame and Baker's Dozen and Gluten Talk and Theurgical Theory and yada yada yada. We've got a bunch of content for you, and everything is content. Oh yeah, and as always, stay safe out there, guys. Bye.
Bye.